Wow. It's been one hell of a couple days. We have had so much information given to us for the development update. Now, I'm not going to be focusing too much on the first 2 minutes. I'm strictly going to be looking at that few seconds of gameplay that we got towards the end. That's what everybody's talking about. Everybody wants to know what happened at the end. The beginning portion had just a bunch of devs reading over mean tweets, then they discussed their commitment to the game and commitment to the project. They explained how they needed more time, how they're going to be talking about the game very soon, and that they appreciated the community and our concerns. But if you're in the community already, we already knew that. So let's just jump right into the gameplay portion of this, because we have so much to discuss. And this will mark my beginning of coverage for the development update on Dying Light 2. I know a lot of people were saying that it was underwhelming at points, but like I've said, there's so much in here that we need to dive into it. I mean, I did a stream for 2.5 hours talking about it. There's clearly a lot of info here. So, starting out in the beginning, we have Aiden and another mysterious character running and doing some parkouring together. The animations here, they just look top notch and as perfect as ever before. So, a lot of people were wondering whether or not this was an NPC or a co-op partner, because to be honest, they look very similar. And I went ahead and asked Unsee, who did indeed confirm that this was an NPC character. I mean, it makes sense because this animation and the fluency to how this character is acting was way too smooth to be a co-op character. What I'm thinking is that this is a very early tutorial mission, kind of similar to what they did with Crane and Raheem in the original. It looks like the runner could be showing us the ropes on how to go about doing certain things in the game. Additionally, what I do want to mention is that from a while ago, there was some placeholder information for an Asus computer that said that there was a mission for Aiden to get his biomarker. And if we look at Aiden's hands as he's running in this gameplay, he clearly does not have anything on his wrist. It's unclear what the NPC has, whether it's a biomarker, vial, or a glow stick. You can thank YouTube compression for that. But it's also unclear whether or not we are running away with him or we're chasing him down. We don't know yet. Lots of things to dive in here, lots of open-ended questions to discuss. But no matter the reasoning that we are doing it, seeing characters do parkour, following them around is something new from the original. There were tiny little sections that were sorta there, but not to this level of fluency. Moving around a little bit, we can also see this area to the side. There isn't much going on here, and there's also a good amount of fog in this area as well. It looks slightly unfinished the deeper you look into this area. I don't know if it is a playable section or not a playable section, but it does look a tad bit unfinished. And if you're looking around, you will also notice that this time around, the streets aren't flooded with infected like it was in the original. That's because in this game there is a whole life cycle involved with the infected, and certain types are more prone to sunlight than compared to others. So in retaliation, some of them get off the street and hide while others do not. So when it becomes nighttime, the streets will look drastically different than what we're seeing here now. But what I really want to focus on here too is if we proceed a little further at other sections too, this is a little concern that I do have. Yes, there's a lot of spaces and places to do parkour, but if the streets are empty, what is there going to be in the open world? It's just a minor concern. I'm not too worried, as they have already stated that this game will have well over 100 hours of content in it, but I felt like it should still be out there, especially because that's one of the biggest gripes of open world games nowadays. Now, if we move on to the next section, we have a lot more to dissect here. First, we have the spikes for turning. You can see that on the right. We have the obvious two enemies right in front of us. They might resemble some sort of faction or thugs. We don't know just yet. And if we take our eagle eyes and look all the way in the back, we can actually see some sort of infected roaming around. Like I said, not all infected types will be hiding. In the new night cycle, the degenerates will be out roaming around. But if we play this out a little bit further, we can actually see some good blocking animations, a little bit more improved combat system. It's very brief, but it goes right in line with what Techland has been saying over the course of the past couple of months. We did get an update a little bit ago saying that parkour and combat against humans is better than it ever was, and now we can actually see that for ourselves. One little gripe that I do have here is that the headbutt animation looks almost identical to the one that we saw back in the E3 demo. I understand that you can really only headbutt someone in a certain way, but I would like to see some variety to it as well. I don't want this to fall down the same path as it did with the volatiles from the original. They would do some of the same animations every single time that they jumped on top of you. I want to see something different. But pressing on, we get some footage on possibly another enemy or faction type. This one could be related to the ones that we just saw. I'm unsure of that for now, but right after we get a peacekeeper just getting absolutely stomped on. It's It's very quick, you can barely see the stab wound or anything like that, then right after we are saved by someone who we don't know just yet. And this one is particularly interesting because we know that our choices basically affect everything in this game and that it's an ever-changing story based on player decision. Whether or not that is still occurring is unknown. But if it is, this could be a clear choice that the player might have made, because if we're going to be siding with certain factions, and in this case Peacekeeper just gets ruined, what led up to this moment? Did a player's choice have any effect on this outcome occurring? Would there have been another way where this Peacekeeper does not get ruined? It's unclear, it's still up in the air, but I'm just using these questions to help spark up a discussion and have everybody's voice heard. Immediately after, we just see another NPC character get absolutely floored right now by the water tower guys from that demo from a long time ago. And my god, this dude has had an upgrade. Holy crap, he probably had the best 2021 glow up out there in this world right now. But if we go ahead and look around, we can see that everybody has biomarkers on. So it's the norm around here. Everybody is tracking their level of infection because, as you know, everybody is infected in the world of Dying Light 2, including Aiden. And aside from seeing such a graphical update and enhancement to many of these NPCs, their movements and all of that too, this little scene doesn't really tell us much. We do get a good look at some of the weapons that they are using, but I do want to focus back at that player choice element. We know that this is a guy that we came across in the E3 demo whose name is Jack. Is what we are seeing something that occurred before we had the option to go and kick Jack off of a building, or is this something after the fact? If it's before and your friend gets his shit kicked in on the floor, that is going to clearly affect your decision when you do face him again. But if this happened after you made the choice to spare him, you can see how your actions are direct consequences to those that you care for. Like I said, there's so much here, just really go and dive into it. And now there it is, the big, beautiful beast, this spider looking zombie or infected, whatever you want to call it. This dude looks more terrifying than anything that we have seen before. I mean, just by looking at him, you can feel the power that he is establishing. The glowing that he has on his back is certainly eye-pleasing, but what do they mean? We were told that this was a brand new infected type introduced into the game. It's not a volatile or a version of a volatile, it's something completely new. And I just absolutely love the look at this dude. In my live stream, I brought up the idea that this might be the Night Hunter equivalent in a PvP game mode. That was just speculation on my end. To be honest, I think it's just an affected zombie type that we're going to run into while we do play the game. There's certainly limited information on this, but they are really stepping things up this time around. They are really looking to up everything onto a new level. This infected looks very skinny, looks like he's going to be traveling very quickly, maybe the same speed as a volatile or even quicker. It looks like he has really rocky, veiny materials on his outsides and that they're coming from his back. Looks like it could shoot out blast or maybe summon other infected into the nearby area. He definitely seems like a true champion to go up against during the nighttime. He will make sure that people do stay inside during the nighttime, but we all know all the good stuff is discoverable during the night. But with him alongside the new volatile, which is right here, the nighttime is going to be very intense and thrilling when we go up against them in the sequel. Aside from those cheeks of steel, these volatiles look more daunting in this time. They were kind of silly looking in the original, if I'm being honest. Once you got used to them and you leveled up accordingly, you were able to deal with them very quickly too on top of that. But right here, these guys look 10 feet tall and they look ready to pounce on you as soon as they can. It really seems like they are going for that I Am Legend vibe that we keep discussing. They are really getting somewhat of a major rework, and it's quite clear in this case. And actually also right before this, if we go back a few seconds, we can actually see another infected just scrolling through a parking garage. It really gives us an idea on some of the atmosphere places that we're going to be running into, because with every single place that we've seen so far, the interiors look very great, they look very detailed. There's a lot going on here, lots to see. I know that they said a while ago that every interior would be searchable and playable, so seeing these small claustrophobic areas with zombies and volatiles at certain corners really speaks truth, care, and consideration for its development so far when it came to this process. And if we keep on pushing on, we see Aiden biomarkerless having a seizure that was very similar to what Crane had in the original. We can also see a little bit of his tattoos and gloves, but those are aside from the point. And then right after that, we have a 2021 date. Now this date right here has split the community. Many people are saying that this is a release window. The community manager did come out to say that the data is up for interpretation, but I mean, let's be honest, I'm like 99.9% sure that this means that the game is indeed coming this year. It certainly wouldn't be a smart choice to do a development update after being silent for many months, throwing that date up there, and then that's not the date that it comes out. It would seem like a troll otherwise. To be honest, I think the game's coming out in 2021, and if Techland tells me otherwise, then I'll believe it, but for now, it's coming out in 2021. Be excited. And to finally finish off the video, the developer stated that they are going to be doing a little thing where they take questions from the community and they answer it in short little videos. Wait, that sounds familiar, I did that. But essentially, if you want, you can go to their Discord, write in a question for them for a chance for them to answer it. It's unclear on when they will do it, but it will come. But anyways, that is everything. That is my interpretation and my full breakdown recap of the March 2021 development update. I am sure I missed a couple of things in here, so please do let me know your thoughts, your comments, your concerns, your opinions. I would love to hear everything. I read every single comment that you throw out there, whether you roast me or not. I will read it and I will heart it. But as always, thank you all so much for the support. We are growing like crazy on this channel right now, and I cannot thank you enough. Can we hit 10,000 subs by the end of the weekend? No, I'm just kidding. But please do, if you enjoyed, please like, subscribe if you did enjoy. Thanks again, and with all that said, please have a good night and good luck.